It's 3 a.m. This is it, the end of the road. For weeks, there's been this little voice whispering that I'm a fraud. And tonight, it's screaming. Every view, every subscriber, every single nice comment. It all feels like a big mistake. Like there's been a clerical error in the universe's accounting department. They don't see the real me, the one who has no clue what he's doing. The one who's just playing pretend, absolutely terrified of being exposed. And in one click, I can make it all go away. My cursor is hovering over the delete channel button. It's shaking. Or maybe I'm shaking. I just want this feeling to stop. This crushing weight of not being good enough. I take a deep breath, close my eyes, and I'm about to click. But then, something happens. I open my eyes, and something catches my attention. Something that's about to change everything, at least for tonight. That feeling, that deep, nagging, gut-wrenching certainty that you're a total fake. It has a name: Impostor syndrome. It's the pattern of doubting your own skills and successes, living with this constant fear that you're going to be found out. And it is shockingly common. It's not just you. Some research suggests that up to 70% of people will experience it at some point in their lives. In fact, one 2020 study by KPMG found that 75% of the female executives they surveyed had felt it. It happens to doctors, lawyers, artists, and it especially happens to those of us who dare to create and put ourselves out there online. We see our own messy, chaotic, self-doubting process, and we compare it to someone else's shiny, polished final product. We write off our successes as just luck, but our failures? We see those as proof of a fundamental lack of talent. It's a nasty, vicious cycle. And tonight, I was at the absolute rock bottom of that cycle. But as my finger was trembling over the mouse, my eyes landed on a dusty, forgotten notebook on my desk. It was an old journal from way before the channel, before the crippling self-doubt, before all this. I hadn't touched it in years. On a whim, a last-ditch effort to find any reason not to go through with it, I picked it up. The pages were filled with my sloppy handwriting, half-baked ideas, and frankly, some ridiculous dreams. And then, on a page dated nearly 5 years ago, I found it. It wasn't a magic spell. It was a plan. A simple, 3-part strategy I'd written for myself for whenever I felt lost. Reading it now, it felt less like a plan and more like a lifeline. It was a ritual, a way to fight back. And I decided right then, in the dead of night, to do it. A ritual to get me through to sunrise. And I want to share it with you, because maybe you need it too. Step 1. The ledger of evidence. The first step is all about one thing: fighting feelings with facts. That voice in your head, the imposter, it doesn't use logic. It runs on vague feelings of being a fraud, on anxiety, on that gut-level certainty that you are not enough. You can't argue with it on its own turf. You have to bring cold, hard, undeniable evidence to the fight. This is what I call creating. The ledger of evidence. My old notebook called it an achievement log, but that sounds a little boring. This is a weapon. The voice of self-doubt is loud, but it's also super forgetful. It conveniently ignores every single good thing you have ever done. Your job is to remind it. So here's what you do. Tonight, right now if you can, grab a piece of paper or open a new document. You're going to write down just 3 things. First, write down one tangible achievement from the last year. It doesn't have to be huge. Did you finish a project you were proud of? Learn a new skill, even a small one? Did you get one single, solitary, positive comment that made you smile? Write it down, be specific. I wrote, filmed, and edited my first ever video about baking sourdough. Not I made a video. The details matter. They're the texture of reality that the imposter voice can't argue with. Second, write down one time you helped someone. Maybe you gave a friend some solid advice. Maybe you answered a question in a comment section. Maybe you made something that made one person on the other side of the world feel a little less alone for 5 minutes. This is so important Because imposter syndrome is fundamentally selfish. It shrinks your world down until it's just you and your supposed flaws. Remembering that you've had a positive impact on another human being shatters that illusion. It proves your existence has value beyond your own internal monologue of doubt. Third, and this one's the toughest, write down one failure that you survived. That's right, a failure, a video that flopped, a project that fell apart, a time you felt embarrassed or totally unqualified. Write it down, and then write one sentence about what you learned from it, or just the simple fact that you're still here after it happened. Why? Because the imposter whispers that the next failure will be the one that finally destroys you. By listing a past failure you already overcame, you're giving your brain concrete proof that this just isn't true. You've failed before, and you are still standing. This ledger is your first line of defense. This isn't about ego. It's about building a factual case against the irrational prosecution happening in your own mind. Step 2. The narrative reforged. Once you have your evidence, it's time for step 2. This step is about seizing control of the story. Imposter syndrome writes you into a very specific role. The fraud, the pretender, the person who doesn't belong. Every piece of evidence gets twisted to fit this script. Got a good comment? They're just being nice. Landed a new opportunity? It was a fluke. They'll figure me out soon enough. You can't win by arguing with the little details of that story. You have to completely replace it with a better, truer one. This is the narrative reforged. The story you're going to step into tonight is not the expert or the flawless genius. That's just swapping one kind of pressure for another. The new narrative is this. You are the guide. Think about it. A fraud is someone pretending to be at the destination. A guide is on the journey with people, but maybe just a step or two ahead. A guide doesn't have all the answers. A guide makes mistakes. A guide is still learning. But their experience, however limited, is still incredibly valuable to those who are a few steps behind them. Look at your ledger of evidence. That achievement, that was you taking a step on the path. That time you helped someone, that was you acting as a guide. That failure you survived, that's the hard-won wisdom a guide shares to help others avoid the same traps. So here's the action for this step. I want you to look at the work you do, your videos, your art, your projects, and reframe it through this lens. The voice in your head says, "Who am I to teach this? I'm not the world's leading expert." The guide's response is, "I'm not the world's leading expert, but I did figure out this one specific problem, and I'm sharing my journey in case it helps someone who's exactly where I was last week." This shift is a game changer. It frees you from the burden of perfection. You don't have to be the best in the world. You just have to be honest about your journey. Your vulnerability isn't a weakness that exposes you as a fraud. It's the very thing that qualifies you as a guide. People don't connect with perfection. They connect with the humanity of the struggle, the realness of learning and growing. By embracing the role of the guide, you turn your biggest fear into your greatest strength. Step 3. The imperfect offering. This brings us to the final and most important step of the ritual. This is where the magic really happens. The first 2 steps were about changing your mind. This step is about changing your behavior. Why? Because imposter syndrome is a creature of inaction. It thrives when you're stuck, overthinking, and trying to get everything perfect. It withers and dies when you are moving. Momentum is a powerful enemy of self-doubt. This step is called the imperfect offering. Perfectionism is imposter syndrome's favorite weapon. It tells you not to start until you're ready, not to publish until it's flawless, not to speak until you know everything. Which, of course, means you never start, you never publish, and you never speak. The only way to break this paralysis is to make a conscious, deliberate choice to be imperfect. So here's your final task for tonight. You're going to plan one small, concrete, imperfect action that you will take tomorrow. And you will write it down as a pledge, not to me, not to your followers, but to yourself. An audience of 1. The key word here is imperfect. If your goal is to make a perfect video, that's the imposter talking. An imperfect offering sounds like, tomorrow I will film for 15 minutes even if the lighting sucks and I stumble over my words. Or I will write one clumsy paragraph. Or I will hit publish on this thing that I know has flaws. You are making a sacrifice to the God of good enough. You are making an offering at the altar of done is better than perfect. You are intentionally choosing to create something that is not your masterpiece because you get that creating something is infinitely better than creating nothing at all. When I looked at my own dusty notebook, this was the final instruction. Make one imperfect offering. And so, instead of deleting my channel, I made a pledge. I decided I would make this very video. I didn't know if it would be good. I had no idea if anyone would watch it. But I committed to the act of creating it as my imperfect offering, as proof that I was still in the game. The sun is starting to come up now. The darkest part of the night is over. And I'm still here. My channel is still here. That crushing weight, that screaming voice, it's not gone. I don't think it ever truly goes away, not for people who care about what they do. But it's quieter. It's a whisper again, not a scream. This ritual, the ledger of evidence, the narrative reforged, and the imperfect offering, it isn't a permanent cure. It's a practice. It's a life raft you can build for yourself when you're in the middle of the storm. It's what you do in the dark to make it to the dawn. You can't beat imposter syndrome in one night, not forever. But you can absolutely win the battle for this night and the next one. So, I'm not deleting my channel. I'm recommitting to it because I'm not a fraud. I'm a guide. And my journey, with all its bumps and detours and imperfections, is worth sharing. And so is yours. So here is my challenge to you. Don't just watch this, do the ritual. Or at least start it. If you do nothing else tonight, I want you to do step 1. Find a piece of paper and write down your 3 pieces of evidence. And if you're feeling brave, share your biggest takeaway in the comments below. You don't have to share your specific achievements, but maybe just how it felt to finally write them down. Let's turn this comment section into a massive, collective ledger of evidence. Proof that we are not alone in this, and that together, we can get through the night. Thank you for being here. You got this.